Hello everybody, this is MJ Lewis and I am here to share with you the 4 intentions of God. This is lesson number 2 for the Divine Young Soul. Now as you know, these are messages that I received during my meditation, and I was told to share these messages after 1 year of meditating on them and coming to a full understanding of them. So now, here's message number 2, the 4 intentions of God. Like I said previously, these writings, these messages come automatically through me during meditation, and they're not my words, they're the words of the divine voice that comes through me. So here's the interpretation that I have for you. The 4 intentions of God are hope, love, peace, and happiness. We all derive from God, the one true source of life. We materialize into the one self so that God may express these 4 intentions. Our path to fulfillment, which is our path back to God, is the perfect expression of the 4 intentions. To fully realize the 4 intentions of God is to fully realize that you and God are one in the same. In other words, like I mentioned in the recording number 1, lesson number 1, as the clouds are to the ocean, we are to God. And once the clouds remember they're of the ocean, they return to the ocean, as so must we remember we are of God and return to our source, our creator, which is God. You are birthed unto oneself, knowing your intention. In other words, you came here with a plan. Okay, you didn't come here empty-handed, you came here with a plan. Your desires aid you in remembering and expressing that intention. Free will lies in choosing to go with the original plan or to abandon it. The one self that chooses to move towards God by expressing the 4 intentions of God generates the feeling of good. So, if you're working towards your intention of love, hope, faith, peace, and happiness, if you're working towards one of those intentions, you're going towards God, and you generate a feeling of good. The one self that chooses to move away from God by expressing the opposing intentions of despair, which is the opposite of hope, hate, the opposite of love, and chaos, the opposite of peace, and sorrow, the opposite of happiness, generates the feeling of bad, which is interpreted as evil. This is what we like to call evil, feeling bad. And as you move away from God, you create bad feelings, which is what we end up calling evil. The battle between the one and the self arises from this conflict. Evil is generated when the self chooses not to acknowledge the one that is in you, meaning God that is in you. Not acknowledging the one which is contained in the one self is to deny the existence of God in you, therefore severing our connection to one another. To deny that divine connection is to sin. The notion of inertia or neutrality is an illusion, for the universe is always in motion. What you do unto me, what you do unto others, you do unto me. Thus so saith the Lord. I'm not a Bible thumper, but that phrase was given to me as I was finishing this lesson, and it says a heck of a lot. Since we are all of the same source, we all arise from the same source. You hurt the other, your neighbor, your brother, your sister, you hurt the other person, the other oneself, you're hurting yourself. So don't think I'm going to do something bad to that person and it's going to make me feel better. It doesn't really make you feel better. If you sit there and examine what really is going on, you don't feel better. In fact, you feel worse because you're moving away from source. You're moving away from God. You're letting the self take over, and you're denying the one self that is in you, which is also in the other person. So that is lesson number 2. You can also visit divineyoungsoul.blogspot.com for lesson number 1, which is also available on YouTube. And if you want to know more about me, you could also visit mjlewis.com. I'm also an author and a writer, and I'm also a nurse. Okay, so thank you for tuning in, and see you next time for lesson number 3 coming soon. Namaste.